How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Let's go. Monday evening sees the Wankhede Stadium make its entrance in IPL 2025. 8 titles between the Mumbai Indians and the Kolkata Knight Riders. Just 2 points in 4 games between them. Mumbai need to pick up their first points. It's not a tournament that's easy to come back from like it used to when MI used to win, and KKR, the defending champions, showed that they can bounce back. They got the result in their last game, and we build up to this evening's game at the Wankhede on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. It's also a first entrance for somebody on the show today. Varun Aaron is firstly back after a little break. How are you, Varun?
I'm very good, thank you. Even better since I'm back with you on this couch.
So sweet,
and my old friend's back as well.
Old friend, how long have you known each other?
Since last year.
Dustin Silgardo, my dear colleague and friend, very senior editor of ESPN Cricket Info. You hate that, don't you? Matt has gone to the ground, so you are doubling up today. But place. I saved the best for last. You know, it's a reunion, a homecoming of sorts. Sanjay Bangar returns on a Cricket Info platform after 8 years.
Sanjay, bring out the drum roll.
Thank you so much. In fact, ESPN was kind enough to launch me in the field of broadcasting.
Sir, 2017. Where is the launch? Don't we look like different people?
Raunak is straight out of college there.
I've certainly turned out to be a lot fitter than I was then.
Sir, I can also say the same. My neck is missing in that picture in 2017. But yeah, this is all the way back in 2017 when Mr. Bangar, in a very different time, almost a lifetime back, was first on ESPN Cricket Info. And since then, he became a big man. He was with the Indian team. He was directing the Punjab Kings. Now he returns. Sir, welcome back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely. Big game as well. And I think with the start of the season that both these teams have had, can't help but think that already, even though we're just 10 days into the IPL, Varun, this is already a huge game for both MI and KKR, maybe more so for the Mumbai Indians.
I would say a very big game for Mumbai Indians, especially after losing the first 2. If they lose this one, there are definitely going to be some skeletons knocking on that closet because the last thing they would want is the ghosts of last year to come back and start haunting them in the dressing room and things not work out to their favor, especially in this match. Because especially when you're winning, everything's fine. But the moment you start losing back-to-back games, which has been a Mumbai Indians thing at the start of tournaments, I think they would want to just get that out of the way.
But now, it's a different tournament, Sanjay, isn't it now? Even CSK did very unlike CSK things. They're making changes early. Both these two great teams, is it fair to say now the league doesn't allow you to slip up early and make up the points later?
That's because the passing criteria has gone up. Because earlier times, when there were 8 teams, if you win 7 games or 50% of your games, you were in a way guaranteed of a 4th spot.
Correct.
But now, because there are 10 teams and only 4 go through, the qualifying percentage goes up to 60%. Means that if you do have to make it to the top 4, then you need to win at least 8 games. And that's been the trend. So it's gotten difficult. The talent is spread out and you can't afford to lose 3 on the trot, because then clearly there's a little bit of a panic.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you a good student, Dustin, with the passing percentage going up?
Not bad.
Not bad. I can tell you were well, because you've come well prepared today. Mumbai Indians won the toss, by the way. Hardik Pandya says he's going to bowl first. Pat Cummins was the only captain so far in 12 games that's won the toss, chose to bat. And out here, I think Pujara said yesterday he thought that was an issue. Let's just quickly look at the teams and then we'll bring up all the big talking points. Will Jacks is back. And it's interesting that there are changes on the right-hand side as well. This is the bowling first 11, no Rohit Sharma. So we assume Rohit will come in as impact sub. He's on the bench. And they've given a first game to Ashwini Kumar and they've returned Vignesh Puttur into the side who had a good game at the Chepauk. Now Ashwini Kumar is a left-arm seam option from Punjab, picked up at base price at the auction. We'll talk a little more about him in a second. But yeah, let's just break down the return of Will Jacks, Sanjay Bangar, and a first game for Ashwini.
Very happy that Will Jacks is back in the fold. I am not sure why they changed only for a game, because he started in the first match for MI. Gives you that explosive power which is required. Tilak Verma can drop down to number 5 because that's where Mins was doing the job. He looked a little bit out of sorts, so Tilak can bat at that number. Hardik to bat at 6 and Naman to Dheer to at 7. And Ashwini Kumar, for your information, Raunak,
Sanjay, please.
He was part of our intern program at Punjab Kings. That's why we had selected 8 to 10 bowlers of various skill sets, and he's a guy who is quite sharp, left arm, can bowl good Yorkers, can get the ball to swing back right into the right-handers. So a very good bowler indeed, promising pick.
Very good. Ashwini Kumar would come in for Satyanarayan Raju while they still await the return of Bumrah. Interns program, you said.
Yes.
Is it a paid internship, Sanjay?
Yeah, it was a paid internship, and we did really look after them pretty well. Maybe a basic, what do you call it, a retainer.
Oh, wow.
And then they were traveling throughout with the team as well.
I wish I was a little younger when the internship programs happened, like in 2017, but clearly I wasn't fit enough at the time. That's the Mumbai Indians change. Let's just quickly look at the Kolkata Knight Riders. We'll come to that in a second. But Vignesh Puttur returning is not a bad call. We were surprised he was missing in the second game.
Especially after the way he played his first game. His debut was really good. You would want to give a kid like another game and keep the momentum up, and also keep his faith in himself going, because when you get a break, you never know what you're going to have the next game, especially when you're coming back to the Wankhede, high pressure game, high voltage game, I would say today.
And he's going to be bowling at the Wankhede. We'll see if he gets the same assistance that he got on a slowest surface of the Chepauk. But for now, we're going to focus on MI's batting, because forget Bumrah's absence. The batting is at full strength pretty much. Dustin, you've been digging up the numbers. What's the story today?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be interesting to take a look at some of Rohit's dismissals recently against pace. What we've noticed is that there are a lot of deliveries where he's getting out where the ball is on the stumps. I think he's getting out more with lines that are on the stumps rather than outside off, which is kind of different usually for most batters. So you can see he's got out 20 times in all formats from pacers with balls on the stumps, and outside off is just 14 times. So do you think there's something there in his reflexes or technique, or is this what you would expect more or less from Rohit?
We can now take it to Sanjay. He's the batting coach with Rohit, of course.
I mean, the only challenge that Rohit has, it's at the start of his innings. Because most of those dismissals which you are speaking of on the stumps could be whether the ball swinging in or the ball darting back in, the way which Siraj got him in. And that's why in the first 2 overs or so, you literally have to tell Rohit or challenge him that, okay, you have to be at your best in terms of where your weight has to be. You have to be a little bit agile, because he's somebody who gives you that impression that he's a bit laid back, and that can, in a way, also affect where your weight is, whether it is on the balls of your feet, wherein you can really move quickly as per the needs of the ball, of how it swings or seams, or whether you're just flat-footed at the moment, then it doesn't allow you to move that quickly.
You want to add something?
Yeah, the other thing is with Rohit, like Sanjay Bhai said, his weight transfer will have to be perfect, because what's his weapon can also be his weakness. He plays across the line a lot, especially what enables him to pick up really well. Also, if you see, he never really plays that many straight drives. It's mostly flicks. He picks up really well. So if your weight transfer is a bit off, you can have that back pad gap when your bat's going across the line.
Is there an explanation as to why such an experienced player like Rohit, almost always in the IPL, it's a similar sort of story, Sanjay? With Virat Kohli, it's a completely different thing. He still comes out with almost the same template, I would say, and he still gets runs. With Rohit, it almost seems like you've got to switch him on regularly at the start of an IPL.
Hard to fathom why that happens, but if that is the case, then he can clearly look at this season as a challenge, because 3 or 4 months into the new season, maybe this new year, things have been a little bit different for Rohit ever since the Australia series. So he would certainly want to leave his mark and bring his A game, because he understands, being an MI captain, how critical it is for MI, how much pride they take in winning.
Is there a technique conversation to be had, or do you not really have a technique conversation with somebody like Rohit Sharma? That too in the IPL, where you almost think at some point or the other he's going to get runs. Maybe on the Wankhede he'll get runs. But is there a technique conversation that has to be had with senior players in IPL cricket?
You can clearly have it based on the trust level and the working relationship that you have with those superstars. So for me, clearly it has to be, he has to be more agile right at the start of his innings, and that all boils down to how he can get his weight on the balls of his feet.
Okay, well, there are a few matchups as well that we'll come into a little later. For now, Rohit Sharma can sit back, relax, and wait to see what the bowlers and fielders do. He's on the impact bench. Have a look at the Kolkata Knight Riders starting 11. Sunil Narayan's back. So just the one game makeshift role for Moeen Ali at the top of the order. Did very well in Guwahati. but Sunil Narayan back is welcome news for Ajinkya Rahane's side, who of course is captaining KKR at his home ground and home state, the Wankhede Stadium. Otherwise, you run through that team and no real changes. Raghuvanshi also a Mumbai boy there, so there's some experience of the Wankhede, and Vaibhav Arora is most likely to be their impact sub. Varun, fair enough that it looks like it's going to be KKR's team at the start of this season.
Pretty much set for KKR. Sunil Narayan missed out because he was ill last match, but Moeen Ali did a splendid job, especially with the ball. So Narayan back up top at the Wankhede, danger for the bowlers.
All right, let's go with the matchup conversation as well. What else do we have for us, Dustin?
Well, in the power play, it's going to be very interesting because both Trent Bolt and Deepak Chahar have very good numbers against the top order of KKR. So I know Varun's been crying out for bowlers to swing the ball to Sunil Narayan. And one person who does that is for sure Trent Bolt. And so as you see, he's got Narayan out 4 times in 4 innings. In fact, just 17 balls and he's got him out 4 times. But he's also got, Bolt has also got very good numbers against both De Kock and Rahane. And similarly, Deepak Chahar also I think has got Narayan out twice in 4 innings. And he's actually got Rahane out 4 times in 4 innings. So there's very good matchups in the power play for Mumbai Indians bowlers against KKR's top order. Probably why Varun went with Venkatesh Iyer as his player of the match, because you know they're going to need that batting depth.
Yeah, he did all that homework and came up with Venkatesh.
No, but Varun was also saying that he was looking at something about Bolt's swing, right, and how that might be.
Yeah, so I was just looking at what's different with Bolt and Chahar this year to last year. I think Bolt is pretty much the same. There's a 1.3 degree deviation last year and this year as well. His lengths are really good. But with Chahar, there's a clear case of bowling a bit too short this year, especially in the first 2 games, which he can always alter. 25% of his deliveries are on good length and 9% are full. Rest, everything is short, which is quite an anomaly for him because he relies on swinging the ball a lot, which has resulted in him having a 0.4% difference in his swing. So his swing is down. So he's known to swing the ball. And he's going to have to swing the ball at the Wankhede to get some batsmen.
I must say, a very intelligent fast bowler.
Yeah, you're unique that way, no? Varun, Aaron, you get into all these numbers and whatnot. Sanjay would have worked with enough fast bowlers. He's a good fast bowler himself, but they don't do this kind of detailed homework with percentages and whatnot.
I mean, you guys are paying me money to do the homework.
I promise you we don't.
No, I'm kidding. Oh, no, I mean, it's important because for bowlers of that caliber, if there's something off, I mean, we rather get into it early than just go like, why aren't they doing what they're doing?
In all seriousness, Varun's broken down the technical aspect of it, but 1 wicket for Trent Bolt in 2 games so far. Deepak Chahar, it almost seems like, Sanjay, when they were at the auction table, they picked a bowling attack designed to do well at the Wankhede Stadium, and the absence of Bumrah, it leaves them a little bit vulnerable. Do you sense this is still the bowling attack that can be successful around the league, or is it mainly for home games, and therefore today's game becomes really important for these 2 bowlers?
Yeah, in the absence of Bumrah, certainly they have to make inroads with the new ball.
Yes.
Even last match, we were a little bit worried of who's going to bowl the end overs. Maybe Hardik and Satyanarayan Raju to an extent had to do the job. Still early days for Satyanarayan Raju, and that's where I feel that they've clearly picked up another fast bowler in the left-hander. Wherein he can bowl the Yorkers really well, he can bowl the wide Yorkers well.
So he's more a death bowling, defensive bowling option.
And you would assume that because with the new ball, you want to bowl maybe 3 overs of either or Deepak Chahar, Trent Bolt. And you sort of cover up your power play by bowling at least 5 overs between them.
Yeah, and Hardik bowled mostly in the middle overs in the last game. He seemed keen to bowl in the middle overs. Do you think that Ashwini Kumar could be that bowler who bowls outside Russell's arc? Maybe that's why they're looking at that matchup, somebody who can, you know, make him kind of reach for the ball?
Generally that is the case, and on smaller grounds, what generally is the talk amongst the IPL fraternity is that you get bowlers, left-hand bowlers bowling across the right-handers as much as possible. Can play into a little bit of KKR's hand as well, because they have a number of left-handers lower down the order in maybe a Rinku Singh or a Venkatesh Iyer. So that plan can work against somebody like a Russell, but Ashwini will really have to bowl right in the block hole against those 2 left-handers.
Quite fascinating actually, because Andre Russell against some young Indian bowlers, who knows if he gets an over of Vignesh Puthur or of Ashwini later. Let's flip the conversation around. Quinton de Kock has great experience of playing at this ground. And those numbers that you saw of Bolt versus de Kock, of Deepak Chahar versus Sunil Narayan, does that in any way suggest that there might be a slightly different approach from a de Kock and Narayan? I'm saying the question only and laughing because de Kock and Narayan don't have any other sort of gear necessarily, right?
No, I don't think there's going to be any change in approach, especially from Narayan. He's pretty much press play and he goes from ball one. He has been adopting a different approach over the last year maybe, where he takes a little time at the start compared to before.
Yeah.
But de Kock is in beautiful form. That shot of Archer from fourth stump, that pull was just like, he just stamped his authority on the IPL and saying, you know what, I'm in great form and I'm here for all you guys.
They're actually a unique personality pairing, de Kock and Narayan. From whatever I know of both, they're not the kind that you would want to spend a lot of time with the analyst or show them a lot of points. But it's important to also tell them that, okay, you know, Bolt has this record or Deepak Chahar has got you out in this way before. You've been in those positions, but I'm just thinking, how would you ever be able to explain it to players like that?
I mean, if they want to.
Yeah.
Because you have to be very smart as a coach or as a member of the management. Is the type of topic that you want to, you know, start with, a conversation that you want to start with. You have to pick the timing really right. And if they're batting as well as they've done so far, you might rather just leave them as they have been doing. So maybe do not really give anything can be the best thing at times as well.
But Raunak, trust me, both the batsmen will definitely remember that they're bunnies to both the other fast bowlers.
They'll know.
100%. How do you forget? You're getting out to somebody 4 times in 4 innings. You got to remember.
I know them as people who don't really switch off
analyze-
from the
they
game
won't
outside
analyze it, but
the
when
game.
But we also have to see the number of innings that they've played. They've gotten out.
4 and 4, Narayan, to Bolt.
So you mean to say that...
Every time he sees Bolt, oh my God, just don't swing
so
the ball.
you mean to say that Bolt has only played 4 games against Narayan?
That's the stat.
It could be in recent
4 innings, 4 dismissals. That's what we've
4
got.
innings, 4. I'm just going by whatever Raunak has showed
This
me.
is what he's.
There's 6 out of 9 for de Kock.
This is where he's bowled to him. There may be games where he didn't end up bowling to Narayan, but this is the stats that we have on innings that he's bowled to Narayan in all This is in T20s. So
Dustin, you're just stirring this up, you know, creating animals. But you know, I just for a moment I'll just digress, because when Sanjay says you have to pick the timing right when you talk to players, do you have a story, even say maybe a high-profile player that you picked and you had to be careful of when you want to talk about, you know, something that needs to be spoken of, maybe a Maxwell or I don't know, anyone else that you've had the pleasure of working with?
What generally happens is that, you know, at times the player knows that he's messed it up.
Right.
And he needs somebody through whose mouth he wants to hear something different. So at times you just have to remain silent, wherein they need some assurance or reformation that, okay, if you've committed a mistake, it was all right. At that time, if you just stay quiet, then the player also realizes that, okay, there wasn't really something right there. And then maybe at the next practice session, you bring that topic up, and that's how it unfolds.
Sanjay, you've got to be careful. You're back after 8 years. When you see a wry smile on Raunak's face, you know a tricky question.
Out of happiness. I'm so happy to see all of you here. No, I mean, I'm in all seriousness, it's a great, I'm very fascinated to know about the skills that it takes, which go beyond your cricketing skills and acumen. It's people skills. Shane Bond spoke to us recently on an experience he had with Lasith Malinga in the year that he was running out of pace, and you know, that year towards the end, 18-19, when he was struggling a little, and he said, Mali, why don't you try round the wicket as an option? Malinga's like, no way, you know, I'm not bowling it. So Bond had to go via Mahela and said, we think this is a good idea if he can work on it. So it was Mahela's job to then find him at the right time, and what Sanjay is saying, hear it from a more trusted, confident source, and then we did see Malinga try that. So, you know, there's all these wonderful dynamics in IPL dugouts. I'm just trying to get them out right now. Speaking of Sunil Narayan now, shall we? Let's go to the other side. De Kock's partner and Sunil Narayan. We had this old IPL impression of him that he's a free wicket over there. Like, KKR don't mind if he fails, don't mind if he comes off. So it's one of those bonuses that extend the batting order. Has that changed now? Is he now proper opening batter who started playing like a proper opening batter?
I don't think he's going to change his style of play, because what you're talking about is other people's perception,
Right.
which doesn't really matter to Narayan with the way he functions and knowing him over the years. He has a set pattern of play. Even with his bowling, he just comes, does his job, puts it on a length, puts it on a coin, and goes away every single game. And I think he's going to approach his batting the similar way.
And KKR still have that depth in batting. They've got Ramandeep at number 8. So in that sense, there's no reason for the openers to suddenly want to
I'm more
play the
thinking
anchor
of
role
whether
or
now
something.
oppositions take Narayan a lot more seriously than they did, say, a year or two back. Whereas there were maybe one or two plans and he would hit an aggressive shot if he didn't get going. Whereas here, Narayan, if I'm not wrong, Sanjay, he almost builds innings now. You know, even if he's 10 of 12, which he was in the first game against RCB, he still doesn't throw it away necessarily like he used to, say, 3-4 years back.
I think what has changed is the way he's looking at himself internally, because at times if a player thinks that he's only there to do the slogging part, then he doesn't put or doesn't apply a lot of mind or method to what he is trying to do. Since he's tasted success, and there's one thing in West Indies and more so in Trinidad, where I think that's where he comes from, they are big on playing tennis ball cricket. All these guys, they play against each other, Pollard, Bravo, Sunil Narayan, and they're extremely competitive. So whoever does well in tennis ball cricket does extremely well in T20 cricket, and that's my my research, if you can want to say.
I mean, MS Dhoni's helicopter shot is a product of tennis ball cricket. So yeah,
and that's why I think he started to look at himself as a batter differently.
Sure.
And that has helped his returns.
but it's also about the confidence I think Gambhir gave him last year because
that happened only after Gautam's return.
there was a clear message that
Was it Shreyas's confidence or Gautam's confidence?
I mean, both people, but I think Gautam Gambhir had a previous working relationship with him, so I would assume that again, talking about how messages go through, that would have been he would have been the messenger.
Strong Mumbai connection in this KKR team. Chandrakant Pandit, who was also there, of course, last year, is at the Wankhede with KKR. Ajinkya Rahane. Do you sense this is a game for Ajinkya Rahane where we saw the best of him? I remember in a CSK game where he absolutely smashed it at the Wankhede. But how big a player is he today for you, Sanjay? Rahane
is very important in the entire scheme of things. If you look at the way the team is stacked up, or at least the batting combination is stacked up, you are probably yet to see what Raghuvanshi can do on a long-term basis. But Ajinkya Rahane has clearly a job to do. He's got a number of stroke players around him, and if KKR have to post scores around 225 or chase down scores around 225, then there is a case for somebody like an Ajinkya Rahane to do to get a job or get it or work at a strike rate of around 130, 135.
Varun, what do you think of also KKR? I mean, Hardik choosing to bowl first, because we've seen a few games where, on these flatter tracks, and Wankhede is, I think, over the last 2 seasons, the second highest scoring track after Eden Gardens in the IPL. And we've seen these big scores of 200 plus, and actually it sometimes becomes hard to chase 240, 250. Would you also have bowled first at the Wankhede, or do you think there was a case for batting first, or is due too much of a worry always?
I think they're bowling first. One of the reasons could be that they're missing Bumrah. They don't have a really experienced death bowler to close off the innings, so they're backing their batting. I think they got it wrong last game because the wicket really slowed down towards the end. They just couldn't get bat on ball, especially in those pressure situations. But I think Bumrah is a huge factor because Bumrah is literally a make or break in their whole equation.
I just think to add to Dustin's question, the last few games where teams are starting to win batting first, this I can't help but emphasize the importance of the two small changes or two significant changes of the ball being changed after 11 and the saliva use, which we spoke of in the Gujarat-Punjab game when you were last with us. Maybe it's become a slightly more equal game. No game has been super decided by dew so far, Sanjay, hasn't it?
I have a different thought process to that, and that's where I feel that we're still in the month of March.
Right.
Earlier, IPL used to start around the first week of April. Those 15 days or so wherein the summer is still to be at its peak.
Yes.
And the variance in temperature, day temperature and night temperature could be a case wherein not enough dew means that bowling second teams can defend as well, and that's why
Yeah.
batting first could be a little bit of value as well.
Absolutely, could be a very fair point. And teams are, of course, coming a lot better planned, as we've seen with their bowling.
This same fixture last season was in May, I think, May 3rd, and the pitch was a bit more tired at the Wankhede, and I think KKR actually defended about 170.
Was that an afternoon game? Was that the one Venki Iyer got 100?
Yeah, he got 100.
He got a 70, I think, and then Varun Chakravarti bowled 2 overs for 22, so there was a lot of turn on offer as well. MI struggled to chase against KKR.
MI last year was a forgettable season.
Of course, yeah.
It was a very forgettable.
But also it was later in the season, so the pitch may have been different. This is the first game at Wankhede, so you would expect a pretty fresh pitch. So it's probably going to be more high scoring.
Very good, Dustin. They won by 24 runs. It was on the 3rd of May.
Yeah.
And Venki Iyer got 70 of 52 that day.
Yeah, I remember this from last year. I didn't just look it up upstairs, I promise.
Dustin already established he was good in studies, so I mean.
I can also tell you that in my notes from last year, it says Harshit Rana suspended. So he was suspended from this game. Yeah. Yeah, we remember what that was for. But anyway, I think, what is it?
Yeah.
Crime that it is.
Public affection.
Crime, all the crimes you can commit. Anyway, we are approaching the first ball in what is a really big game, especially for the Mumbai Indians. They have to get early wickets with Bolt and Chahar at the Wankhede. We'll extend to that conversation in our Maruti Suzuki Arena presents Powerplay Conversations. Right, we've already discussed the matchups earlier. Now let's talk about how you see this contest going with the Decock and Nara in one end, Bolt and Chahar at the other. How do you see it going today, Sanjay?
Both would try and look to take the ball away from the left-handers because that's where the best chance is. Somebody like Quinton de Kock.
But you know Deepak Chahar's ball away from the left.
Away from the left,
Right.
away from the left-hander. So that could be the case as far as the bowling plan is concerned.
Varun?
Completely back that plan. Again, like I said before, de Kock loves width and he loves balls to be short. So they're going to have to make sure that they're not short at all because, again, Wankhede, very small boundaries, especially those 45-degree boundaries are very, very small, very unforgiving to anything which has width on it.
You want to add something, Mr. Silgardo?
No, so would you, for Bolt, would you be looking to say swing and hit the top of off, or is it more like outside off stump to Narayan? What kind of line would he be looking at?
Top of off is the holy grail of fast bowling. So that's your first go-to ball. And even if you miss, you can't miss and go 6th stump. You have to at least miss and go 4th or 5th max.
I'll just add, the power play will also decide what Hardik's bowling plans are. He didn't bowl in the power play in the last game, came on
He
after.
bowled only in the middle overs.
Only
He
in the
didn't bowl
middle.
at the death either.
And whether he's already sort of saying one of these two have to bowl at the end, if not both. So, or is that entirely going to be on, say, young Ashwini Kumar or Hardik himself as far as death bowling goes today?
See, last match he had Mujib, who has the experience of bowling in the power play. But in this particular bowling lineup, I don't think that he'll go to Puthur or he will go to Santner. So he will have to take 5 overs out of these two marquee bowlers, and then maybe he can come in as for the 6th over or the 5th over and use Ashwini maybe 2 or 3 overs after the 10 over mark.
I'm curious to see if he also throws in one of Will Jacks or Namandir with the amount of left-handers there are there. But good
I would
luck.
think Puthur is deployed just to counter Russell because Russell, we all know, has struggled against wrist spin. That's your best bet to get him out early.
But Russell improved a lot.
It's a big one for the young Puthur. But
So you're saying his numbers
Russell improved last year dramatically against leg spin. If you remember, he smashed Markande, another not very young, but another domestic leg spinner for quite a few runs. So it's an area of his game where he's worked. But you're right, historically it has been an issue.
I mean,
for him.
Suyash Sharma started well against Andre Russell the
I
other
think
day.
first game he got out to
Suyash
Googly.
Sharma.
Yeah, Suyash Sharma.
Yeah. All right. First innings score predictions from the panel. Forecaster, what is ESPN Cricket Info's forecaster saying? It says 197. So that's an indicator for you. Now it's time to predict. Varun Aaron, you can go first.
205.
205. Dustin.
I'll go to 14.
Mr. Bangar, it's rising like the percentages of making the playoffs that you told us about.
I don't think the market is moving that much, so I'll say stable around 200.
200. Very well. I always like to say something that makes the three of you look better at halftime. So I will say 235.
Oh my God. All right.
Because I know that will make you all look better. Thank you very much, Sanjay Bangar. Thank you, Varun, Aaron, Dustin. Let's pick up the chat at the end of the KKR innings to see where this really important game stands. Join us then for Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for timeout. On our way out, though, we know there's something special that we've started. You know that you've been sending in your entries to possibly be the next Crickcaster powered by Nexa, and we can now reveal that we have our top 30. See you at the end of the innings. Right then, ESPN Cricket for Crickcaster powered by Nexa. We're looking for that next die-hard cricket crazy fan who wants to do what we've been so privileged to do. And for Jatin and me, it's actually been thoda awkward yaar, because hundreds of entries, 400 reels, and we had to have the tough job of at least picking out our top 30. Feels weird na thoda.
But the good thing has been कि पिछले कुछ दिनों में we've only watched good reels because they've been your reels, so they've been very informative और बहुत मजा आया देख के that there is so much talent out there. 17 साल पहले ऐसी एक शो ने मेरी लाइफ बदल दी थी. Since then I've been living a dream and we're both, and in fact with Mayanti as well, we are very excited that one of you is going to get to live your dream. तो बहुत अच्छी reels थी, बहुत मजा आया, and most of the hard work was done by Raunak. And he's a hard taskmaster. But it went down to the wire.
I swear, yaar. So I just want to say before we announce our top 30, thanks to all of you for that. And whether you're in this top 30 or not, just keep at it, man. Just keep at it. This could be just the start of what could be a journey. But for now, we have to go to our top 30. So, Mr. Sapru, we don't have envelopes like the Oscars. With drum roll, table roll. Jatin, let's do it.
Here's the top 30. There were entries that came from the length and breadth of the country, north, south, east, west. अलग-अलग भाषाओं में आई, अलग-अलग तरीके की आई. किसी ने रैप किया, किसी ने मैच रैप किया, किसी ने अपनी नॉलेज बिखेरी, किसी ने बड़े तर्क भी लगाए. बहुत मजा आया देख के. But don't worry, in case the graphic runs out of time, आपको इस रील में टैग कर दिया गया है. So congratulations to our top 30.
Really well done, guys. Now here is where you're playing in the big league now for Crickcaster. Just like the IPL, we're also looking for our top 4. The assignments have already been sent to you. You've been reached out to by ESPN Cricket Info. You have to do a match wrap. They have to tell us a little bit about their knowledge on cricket and about their favorite broadcaster and all that. So you can mention this man. I would mention this man.
No brownie points. No brownie points. In fact, if you mention us, हो सकता है हम negative marking कर दें. Huh? But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm very nervous for them. I'm nervous for the top 30.
I have no tips because you guys, this should be yours. Just remember that.
Be yourself.
Yeah, let it speak to who you are. All the very best. And Jatin, me as well as Mayanti can't wait to see what your next round entries look like.
Presence of mind, spontaneity, don't copy anyone, don't try too hard. Just be yourself, keep it simple.
Good luck.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.